Hey, what's up? Welcome. Happy Bubble Water Tuesday to all of you. Yeah, I should do a whole video like that. Hot content. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Good to talk. It's been a while. Hoping now everyone sort of understands why this YouTube channel was a little bit bare for a while there. If you haven't heard about the news or seen the videos that went up on Monday or last week, I guess, I left my job at GameSpot. I no longer work there. I'm self-employed, which is interesting. It's fun. Today I woke up at 8:30 and by 10 I had sent 10 emails and then subsequently had realized that I hadn't actually put on any clothes. I was still in my underwear. It's weird. Usually by 10 a.m. I'm just getting into the office. Or no, I'm usually in there and everyone else is getting into the office. But now it's a whole new world. So what I've done, in case you didn't know, is I've started a brand new company, which is a crowdfunded, a Patreon, if you will, a crowdfunded project to try and make a new type of games coverage, essentially, sort of making the short form documentaries that I'd done on my previous job, but really expanding them outward into sort of games culture, games that have come out in the past, and not just like preview cycle. So the past week I've been very busy emailing people about that, trying to set up projects. I've bunches of stuff set up, nothing for the next couple of months, which is a little bit annoying, but I'm zeroing down on 2 or 3 ones that I'll hopefully have in the next couple of days, which will be our first projects for next month. But aside from that, aside from Noclip, which you can support if you want at patreon.com/DannyDwyer, aside from that, because I reached all my funding goals, so one of my funding goals was to start doing actually no, it wasn't live streams, I was going to do live streams anyway, was to do a new op-ed show that I'd done on GameSpot, which you might remember. It was called The Point, to make in sort of a new version of that'll go here on my YouTube channel. And thankfully, we've reached the funding level where, although I had done all my budgets and whatnot, and had saved up a bunch of money over the past 6 months to ensure I had a sort of a runway to make this thing launch, regardless of what the initial investment was. Thankfully, it's done so well at this stage that I can basically start the ball running on all that stuff immediately, which is amazing. So here on my YouTube channel, Noclip, you can go to, it's Noclip Video is the, if you go to youtube.com/Noclip Video, or just search for Noclip, or it should be in the featured channels as well on the on that side, actually, right down there, on my homepage of my channel. If you go there, that's where the documentaries are going to live, but that's going to be super curated. So that's going to have basically the top level 20-minute documentary stuff, and then if you're a patron, that's the channel that's going to have all of the patron only stuff as well that you'll have access to via the patron feed on Patreon. Here though on Danny Dwyer, this is all just going to be for everyone. Thankfully, the funding is also going to contribute to that as well, which is wonderful. So I wanted to let everyone know exactly what was going to go on here, because you know, I've been doing a lot of Q&As, for instance, on the Patreon, which has only been for patrons. So people who aren't patrons, who support my work, who subscribe and tweet to me and all that sort of stuff, I want to make sure that you all know what's going on here as well. So the plan is to bring back the op-ed show post-haste. I'm hoping to record the end of this week. I was hoping to record the end of last week, and then realized it was a ridiculous goal to try and do the first week of Noclip launching, so I pushed back production. One of the biggest things we need to do for that, though, is I need to basically invest in a new graphics package and ever, which is fine. I've got the money for that, but the issue is that I need to figure out what the fuck we're gonna call it. So if you have any ideas, first of all, for the new version of the show, which I will say again isn't going to be exactly like that show, but it's going to be sort of an evolution, the sort of new version of what I want to do with that. Kind of a little bit maybe closer to what Red Letter Media did with Mr. Plinkett's stuff, in terms of what we're talking about and whatnot. I'm going to start diving into like games specifically, and the way in which they're shot will be sort of reflected in that as well. I also want it to be visually different from the stuff in Noclip. The Noclip stuff is where we're like flying around the world recording documentaries, and that's going to be shot really, really well. So because I'm here in Oakland, it doesn't afford me the same sort of like different shooting stuff that we had maybe in San Francisco. So I'm thinking of being a little bit maybe reserved in how that stuff is shot, but that the topics themselves and the editing is where it gets expanded. So I might end up shooting quite a lot of it here in this house. So that's kind of where my head is at with that anyway. So first of all, we need a name for that, and then I've already got, so people have been asking about the Doom script I was working on like a month and a half ago. That's why I held on to it. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing. Outside of that, I know a lot of people who subscribe here were fans of my old random game stream as well that I did years ago when I lived in the UK. I'm going to be bringing that back. I don't know the exact timetable of when I'm going to be doing that. There is an issue right now where there's two things I want to do on Twitch. One is I want to do the random game stream. Actually, it's kind of three things. Two, I want to do more of the Fallout 4 Naked and Gunless type long form stuff, because I enjoy doing that as well. And I'm not really sure if that falls in line with the random game stream as well. I could be less particular about the random games and just have a run of 10 game or one game for 10 videos every now and again, but I think I'll probably do those separately. And then the other thing of that is, for instance, both of those bleed into what we're doing with the Tournament of Lies, which is the podcast I do with Dennis and James, which is going to be weekly again. In fact, we tried to record last night to get the first one up because Dennis is out of town for a couple of days. We did manage to do it, so we're going to record on Sunday, and then from then on it's going to be a weekly show, which we're also going to try and do live eventually. But the games that end up in purgatory on that, so the games that we don't put in our list. If you don't know the podcast, we basically try and list every game ever on an ever expanding list. It's ridiculous. So the games that we have in at the moment, like for instance Blood, or what else is on there at the moment? Silent Hill 2, Amnesia, Slender, Until Dawn, Zombie U. These are games that I'm going to start streaming while I'm playing them for purgatory as well. So yeah, so those are the sort of the two main things I want to do. That show, and then I want to do the Tournament of Life stuff, and then I also want to do some sort of morning show, like a news show type thing, which I'm trying to figure out. The problem with the news show thing is it doesn't really suit Europe, and I've got a lot of European followers, so my thoughts right now is that I'll start doing the random game streams like around 1 till 2 or something like that in the afternoon, which will work for US. It'll be the evening for our friends on the East Coast, and then it'll be late in the evening for our friends in Europe. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I'd love to know what you think about that. Yeah, and then just to say that everything else that goes up here is going to be like there's going to be a sort of a wide breadth of stuff between more sort of little Q&A catch-up stuff like this, and the streams, and then the show, which is going to be obviously a lot more polished than some of that sort of stuff. And it's going to be a learning process, and I'm going to rebrand everything and do all that sort of stuff as well. And I'm looking forward to getting down to it soon. I spent last week, I did a bunch of streams last week, and I didn't put any of them on here because I want to test the waters a little bit, make sure everything's working fine. It seems to be working fine. I'm going to get a new graphics package for Twitch as well, so all that stuff's going to look super, super good, but that's going to take a little while because I think I'm going to go to a third-party company to actually do that stuff for me. I'm going to spend a day trying myself though, because I mean it's basically what I did for 10 years before I worked in games coverage and in college, was build, design UI systems, so I'm sure I can figure it out. But yeah, that's essentially what's going on. So if you want to support my work, head over to patreon.com/DonnyDwyer. We're currently over 18,000 a month on that, which is really helping to plan out. I mean, give me like a massive base so that we can go on really long trips, which is what's happening at the moment. I'm looking at going to places in the world where there are 4 or 5 different people I want to talk to about different games, and now we're able to do that. So that's incredible. We have 2,824 patrons. We're closing in on 3,000, 18,245 per month coming in at the moment. I really think, I mean, the mission is not to just give myself a happy wage. The mission here is to change games coverage forever, is to really make it so that we will show people that you can make advertising free, because all this stuff is, I'm not taking any advertising money. I don't need to. That's the beauty of this thing. We're going to make advertising free features about games that are better than anyone else, including all of those massive corporations who've got gaming sites. And that's basically the goal, and we're going to do it. Like, I'm hoping to hear back in the next, maybe today, maybe the next couple of days, about some of the projects we're working on, and then rather immediately I'm going to be waving the flag saying, yo, we did it, come join us, this is a new type of coverage, and then we can expand it and start working with other people and traveling around the world and stuff. So that's really exciting. Get over there if you want to. If you don't, no problem. Thank you so much for subscribing here on my YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe to Noclip, it's Noclip Video, like I said. And then, yeah, let me know what you want, what you think, what the new show should be called, what you think we should do with the streams, what time they should be. Would you like the unedited versions here? Would you like edited versions here? I have the Twitch archives open for everyone at the moment, not just subscribers, but if you want them to be here on YouTube, which I'm assuming most of you do, let me know. If you think that's spammy, also let me know. And thanks so much. Yeah, I'm going to do these updates a little bit more frequently. I'm also doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff on my Patreon. for Noclip, but I'm going to start doing behind the scenes stuff here as well. It probably won't be as exhaustive as the stuff that goes up for patrons, but I do want to keep you guys up to date on exactly what I'm doing, so there'll probably be more in the guise of me talking like this, and maybe chopping in some footage of when I go on projects and stuff like that, because I do want to show you guys here as well some of that stuff, because you've been supporting me here on YouTube and subscribing to my work from, you know, for years now, and it's definitely been a large part of giving me the confidence to be able to do this stuff, so I really appreciate it. Yeah, so that's the first things first. Wanted to just sort of start with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you real soon for another one of these videos. And I'm probably going to stream later, so expect something up pretty soon after this. Cheers. Bubble water. I lied. I'm taking advertising from the Bubble Water Commission.